There we go. Hey, everybody, welcome. Thank you for being here. Welcome to Soul Talks. My name is Esme, and I'm a spiritual coach, Reiki master, and an author. And Soul Talks with Esme is an online talk show where high conscious topics are discussed with the intention to share uplifting stories that may help us all heal and consciously move forward in our journeys towards a happy soul evolution. If you're here, let me know. Let me know in the comments if you can hear us and that you can see us before I introduce our next guest. And so thank you for joining us. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. And so please do share the link. I appreciate it. And I invite others to join us. Now let me introduce our special guest today, Lisa Farrington. Lisa is an internationally best-selling author and a Pinterest marketing strategist who enables businesses to get noticed and drive purchase intent through strategic Pinterest marketing. She runs a Pinterest marketing agency called Lisa Farrington and Company, working with clients across the globe. During her 18-year career in housing and regeneration in the UK, high-level strategy and project management were the focus. She translates a strategic approach in client work and focuses on getting results by using high-quality Pinterest SEO and attractive pin design to maximize brand awareness to her clients. In 2015, she quit her job, rented her apartment, and sold her car and possessions to escape regular life in the UK. During this 3-year journey of traveling the world and living in Australia, she experienced her own awakening and her business was born. She travels when she can and consults to educate businesses and brands to the wonders of the mystical unicorn that is Pinterest. So let me introduce you. There you are. There's Lisa. Hi, Lisa. Thank you for being here.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
I'm so excited. I thought that I didn't go live the right way, but we're here. So, Lisa, you're in the UK. What part of the UK are you in?
So I'm in Northwest England. So my nearest city is Liverpool. It's a little bit of a drive from there, but that's the most famous place that people all know.
Amazing. And so it's nighttime for you. It's about 8 p.m.
Yeah, it's about 8 p.m. Yeah, here.
Well, I'm just so excited to have you here. And I know this Soul Talks episode is a little different. We're going to combine a little bit of the business discussion for entrepreneurs. I think it's important. I think many of us connect with that as part of our journey. And so with that being said, tell us a little bit about your journey.
Okay, so I had just had a pretty regular life. I didn't quite know what I wanted to do when I left school, but I thought I'd wanted to go into pharmacy, and in the end, I ended up getting a job, and I started working for the local council. And then I had a career within housing for a period of time, and I got married in my 20s, and I kind of felt quite trapped. It it just felt like everyone else was settling down with children, getting married, and I'd got married and we got a dog. We didn't have children, and I just felt like there was something else out there for me. And then 6 months after I got married, it just my husband at the time just seemed to completely change. Um, I ended up losing a lot of weight. I've actually put it on now, unfortunately. But he got like quite jealous in terms of like things that he'd say to me, and it just kind of I didn't feel like myself, and I'd obviously changed my name as well. I felt quite different, so I ended up getting divorced the year after. It took like quite a while to make that decision, and I had to sell my house. I had to move back in with my parents. So everything kind of drastically changed. And then for a few years, I was in the same job still, but although it was fine, like everyone was great there, it just didn't really feel like what I'd quite been looking for in my life. So another job came up in another council, and I decided to try that. But I actually got the job and then decided it wasn't for me, and I needed a bigger change. And I had been pinning on Pinterest like all the things I wanted to do. So I had this bucket list with various things like flying over Heart Reef in Australia and the Great Barrier Reef, going to Thailand and seeing the sky lanterns. There was another one in Hawaii with, I'm not sure of the name of it, but they have like all the floating lanterns in the lake. So various different things like swimming with dolphins, various different things like that, seeing dolphins in the wild. Just things around the world that really were quite different to like my regular life. So at the time, like traveling hadn't really been a thing for me when I'd left school, but I'd started seeing in my late 20s a lot more people doing it. And a friend had gone traveling. My sister had ended up getting a working holiday for Australia, visa, sorry. And I decided, well, maybe I could do this. And I was in a lot of debt at the time because I'd shouldered all the costs of the divorce. My home had been in negative equity. I'd done so much work on it and had to sell it for less than it was worth. So I didn't think it was possible because it just didn't seem like a reality for me. So just before my 31st birthday, I made the decision to spend about £250 on a working holiday visa for Australia. And I was so in debt at the time, I thought, oh, well, it's only another £250. I'm in so much debt anyway. If it don't do it, I don't do it. I knew I had a year to be able to enter the country. So I decided to save really hard and like see what would happen. And then I got that job, and then I realized that no, it's just I need something more than this. I need something bigger. So I think that was so. Then I saved really hard for about 7 months and started selling all my stuff just like a month beforehand. So I was on Facebook Marketplace trying to sell like all the clothes and furniture. I ended up keeping my apartment because I hadn't owned it that long. It didn't really make sense to sell it, and I figured that I can rent it out and make the same money that I paid the mortgage. I sold my car. I had a little car, so that went and got sold as well. And then booked one-way tickets. So it was like really scary. My boss at the time, I asked her, because you could actually have like a career break, and there was another thing you could take off 12 months. And I asked her if I could take 12 months off. And they came back to me and they said, no, you can have 8 weeks leave, like some unpaid and some paid leave. And I had to think about it because this is so scary. I've been in this job for 8 years, but I just knew that I needed more. I thought, well, I'm only going to get to like Thailand or something. I want to see the whole world or some more of the world, and obviously take this job. And I got told also, if you go to Australia, you won't be able to work while you have a job with us. So that was another thing. So I decided to quit the job.
Wow.
Yeah, so
that's amazing. You're like my hero because I've been wanting to do that for 5 years. And I'm sure many people have, like who doesn't want to, especially after a divorce or a big change in our lives. It's like, we want for those of us that want to travel and experience and get out there. That's amazing. So it's just awesome that you went out there and did it. And let me take a second and say hi. We have some comments, some people saying hi. Thank you for joining us live. Oh, Lisa, if you want to share the link while I'm reading the comments, if you want to share it on your page, I forgot to let you know.
So the link to the Facebook group or to my website or
wherever you want. Yeah.
Okay, I'll share my website, and then I might put the other one in later because it's a bit of a mouthful, the other one. But this is the link to my website.
Yeah, and I meant share the live so your friends can see it too. Mhm.
Um,
So while you do that, I just want to say hi. We have Martha. Hi, Martha. Sujan, my guest from last week, and Martha from the previous week. Hi, guys. Thank you for being here. Sion, my first guest. Thank you, guys, for being here. Hey, Camaria. Appreciate you being here. I appreciate you. If you guys have any questions for Lisa, please make sure you let us know. We're going to get into some Pinterest info also, and she's sharing with us her story, which she shared. It was the chapter in the book that you co-wrote. How many women were in the Awakening book that you co-wrote?
I think there was about 35 in that one. I'm not sure the exact number, but definitely over 30. So I think about 35 was.
Awesome. So I have a copy of the one. So this is how Lisa and I know each other, through our publisher, AMA Publishing. And so I participated in this one, Trailblazers, and it's 27 women, 27 female leaders share how they use their gifts to guide others. So myself and Martha Salas Lopez were in this one. And so Lisa Farrington participated, and that's how we know each other, through that publisher, through that group. She participated in the second one, which was called, or is called, Awakening. There you go. We don't have the hard copy yet, so but it's available on Amazon, and it's called Awakening, Meet the Women, Birthing a New Earth. So Lisa's telling us about her awakening, and thank you everybody for being here. We're going to continue. So Lisa sold all her things, quit her job, and after your divorce, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, so did you have this wanting, this longing to do that before you were married, or it was something afterwards?
Probably had it a little bit before I was married. We talked about moving to Dubai, but his mother was quite against that. But I always knew that because I already had some credit card debt, that I needed to be able to work while I travelled. It wasn't just a case of just getting up and go and not be able to work. So I had been exploring various online businesses. Travel blogging was also something that I had explored, but it wasn't actually until a couple of years in that I actually found what I could do.
Wow. And that's so cool that you just went for it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you talk about in the book.
Yeah, so in the book I talk about like how the divorce basically triggered quitting the job and going travel. And I also faced like a cancer scare the year that I did it. So that was it was fine in the end, just had a slight procedure, but it made me really think that we are human. We don't have unlimited time here. So if it was something that I really wanted to do, then I did need to, because things could have been quite short-lived at that point. So it kind of gave me the push to really like get out there and do what I wanted to do. So it was quite, like, I was told various things. Like, I was told quite often that I was brave. I was also told, like, what on earth are you doing? My dad in particular was not happy with me at all. He was like, why would you go and quit a permanent, well-paid job to do this? Like, what are you doing? My mum actually was quite, like, behind me. I was quite surprised. But my sister had done it, like, about a year before me. So that was also a push. It was like, oh, well, why am I stuck here? Just, like, I need to go and do some exciting things. And I really did do exciting things. Like, in the first 6 months, I actually lined up I was trying to interview for jobs because I knew I was quite scared really of being out of work, because I'd never been out of work. So even though I had some savings saved up, I knew that I needed to service the debt, and I also knew that it wasn't going to last forever. So I imagined I would be away for about 6 to 12 months. I headed to Sydney first because I had actually interviewed with a company earlier in the year, and although they didn't give me a job, they said, come in and speak to us. So it wasn't quite like an interview, and it didn't really turn out to anything at the time. I did speak to them later on, and they did offer me a couple of jobs later on, but I didn't end up working for them. I then interviewed for another job, which would have enabled me to have a visa, a longer term visa, but it was all about sales. It was about recruitment, and I went through about 4 interviews, and I got to the final interview, and I was like, this is not for me. So I actually said I don't want to go to the next interview. There was like one more interview to get through, and Sydney at the time was really, really rainy. It was August, so August in the UK is really lovely. Like, it's probably one of the nicest times, but Sydney, it's winter time. So we'd already been to Singapore. That was really exciting on the way. And then I was like, I want more adventures. So I actually looked into something called HelpX, which is work for accommodation. So I managed to secure a HelpX in a place called Newell Beach, which is a tiny little place in far north Queensland, Australia. So really high up in Australia. And I went up there, spent a couple of days in Cairns before we went, and we did cleaning for villas, like housekeeping for luxury apartments. They were absolutely beautiful. Like, there was one that was like Baltimore and really beautiful, like open bathrooms, all these infinity pools, really stunning.
Wow.
So it was amazing. Yeah, I got to live a totally different lifestyle. Like, I mean, I've obviously done cleaning in my own home, but never done it professionally. So got to meet some amazing people. Met some Italian friends, an Italian couple. They were amazing. Some more from like America. Met people from France, from Germany. So it was quite exciting to be doing something different. After that, I ended up I wanted to go and do something cool for Halloween, and I looked at various flights to Japan and various different things, but I found some really cheap flights to Florida. So because I love Disney World, we went to
Yes, yes.
it was a bit random, like just flying all around the world.
So to get into that topic, so you were using Pinterest the whole time, just personally.
Mhm.
To, I know you love Halloween and all these things, so you were already using Pinterest just for yourself to get ideas, and
Yeah.
then tell us about more also about your trip to Disney and all of that.
Yeah, so basically I started researching on Pinterest like various different things. One of the things I did was went to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, but also went to this place called Celebration, and it's a town that Disney built, and it's stunning looking. It's absolutely beautiful. It's all, I can't remember the exact specific words for it, but everything sort of looks all the same. It's got a lovely lake. So around Halloween time, on Halloween night, they have all the houses dressed up, and just so many children and families and adults as well turn up, and they're all wearing costumes, and it's everything that I imagine an American Halloween would be. It's just absolutely amazing. So that was really fun. And then I started doing more things that I had found on Pinterest. So then there was ended up in Denmark, went to Copenhagen, and ended up doing the Christmas markets by accident. So that was super exciting because that was on my Pinterest bucket list, to do the European Christmas markets. It was actually cheaper to fly, instead of flying from the US back to Australia. It was cheaper to go via Denmark and Thailand. So after that, the next thing was Thailand, and did a month hopping around the islands, went to Chiang Mai, went to Bangkok. So I timed it so that I could go and do the Lantern Festival. So I think it's called Peng. I don't know how you pronounce it exactly, but they have the Sky Lantern Festival. It's amazing. The sky is just awash with lanterns.
The lanterns at night, they light them up and release them.
Yeah, they have like it's a big massive festival once a year,
Mm-hmm.
and then they also have, I can't pronounce it. I think it's called Lokoi. I'm probably wrong on that one. they have all the water lanterns as well in the lake, so that was super exciting to see. So all these things I'd actually pinned on my Pinterest board. So I guess it's like a bit like a vision board, really.
I
That
was just going to say that. I was like, you can have your digital vision board, and so you were like putting yourself out there.
yeah,
I'm seeing some comments. Everybody saying hi, and Namita is saying it's great to listen to her journey and get motivated. So yes.
so yeah, so after that, it was like trying to work out what to do, and I wanted to do the what's it called, like the full moon party, but it didn't really tie in. I think the full moon party was on the Sky Lantern Festival night, or it didn't work out. So in the end, I went to the half moon party, which was in a jungle instead of on the beach. So that was really unusual. That was super cool.
In Thailand?
Yeah, in Thailand. Yeah, so that
Wow.
one of the islands. I think it was Koh Phangan. I think the island is for that. So that was seeing the islands was just beautiful, like the beaches, the water was just stunning, and all the idyllic pictures with the boats.
Oh, yes, I'm there. So I want to do that so much, and I'm so excited that you did it, and and I think you're feeling proud that you did it, right? It was like an exciting.
Yeah, it's super exciting. And one of the other cool things, because I was researching on Pinterest, I found a load of travel blogs. And if you've ever seen The Beach with Leonardo DiCaprio, the film,
Mhm.
to the island where they filmed that, and it was stunning. But I learned that it was actually really, really busy. So what I did, I found on a travel blog from Pinterest that if you went super early and paid for a taxi boat, I think it was just before sunrise, so it was probably about 5:30 a.m. in the morning. You could get there before all the crowds, and we were the first people on the beach from the beach. So it was amazing.
Nice.
That was really,
Yes, I heard that after he made the movie, it became very
yeah,
yeah,
very, very
chic to go there, and kind of it became a hot spot.
cool.
So we have a question from Martha. She's asking, Lisa, did you travel all these places alone?
No, I traveled with my boyfriend at the time, and then we actually became fiance in Jarvis Bay in Australia. We got engaged. So no, so I didn't. So we used to work together. So that was how we actually knew each other before we went. But we went just as a couple and like not married or anything, and then got engaged while we were out there in Australia.
That's great. That's amazing. So old life, got rid of it, left it behind, went to Australia, traveled, new job, new relationship, everything's great. You're having your awakening. You were connecting with yourself, really. Were you finding yourself?
Yeah, I mean, it was quite intense for me because I was kind of scared of running out of money and going home and wanting to do more. So I hadn't really had it at that point until I came back to Australia. I did a couple more cool things in Australia. I did the Great Barrier Reef and flew over the Heart Reef and the the Whitsundays in the Great Barrier Reef. But after that, I was running out of money, and I realized I didn't want to go home. So we ended up going to Melbourne, but the jobs weren't really there. We went to Brisbane. So I ended up in Sydney. And just before I ran out of money, I got a job in Sydney, and I actually stayed there. I was only allowed to stay there for 6 months, and then I ended up getting a visa. And I think it was maybe about 18 months in total that I worked there. So that was super exciting. I got like the Sydney City Centre apartment that I decided I wanted. I wasn't ready to go home, but it wasn't for me the best workplace. It was kind of hard to connect with some people. There was some lovely people there, and there was also one person that took a disliking to me, and she made my life hell. And I didn't realize it at the time until like after I left how it had really affected my confidence. Um, and it was around that time that I realized I didn't want to do a regular job anymore. I wanted to go traveling. I wanted to take my work with me. So that was the kind of point when I had the awakening that something needs to change. So I set up a website. For my first website was Lifestyle Virtual Assistants, and I decided, after years of trying to find something to do, I'd trained as an administrator as a teenager. I had all like business administration qualifications. I decided that, well, why don't I do this? This is something that I can do easily. And then I was starting to have really bad panic attacks in work. Something had just gone wrong with my relationship as well. And then one of the people that we worked with, not the same person, she kind of shouted a bit, and there was a new girl that had started working there, and she'd actually been off ill like every week since she started, even like some of it she took as annual leave. And she confided in me, she's like, it's really affecting me, like her shouting. And I realized, I was like, oh, I thought it was just me. I thought I was just really sensitive, and something, it was just getting to me. And then I realized this place is quite toxic to work in. It's not really a very, I mean, there were some lovely people, like one of my colleagues was absolutely lovely, and I don't think I could have stayed there as long without her. But well, two of them actually were really nice. But otherwise, I was just really struggling. And I realized this is not for me. This is not making me the person I want to be. Like, I ended up crying in a meeting one time because I couldn't find a cake that I had been sent to get, and I literally sat there writing minutes, like crying, trying not to show anyone, and I couldn't leave the room because I'd already missed on these minutes trying to find the cake. I was like, this is just, I knew it was destroying me. So I ended up, the time came for my contract to finish, and I had a wedding then to pay for, and I was really scared. I was so grateful because I was too scared to leave. So they made the decision for me, like it was moving on from a temporary contract to just taking on permanent staff, and I couldn't work there as permanent staff because I didn't have the right visa. So it was I was really relieved because it was just, I can do something else now.
You were relieved to leave that place too.
Really.
And from an energy standpoint, that's kind of my thing. It's like what we put out affects us, and but also our environment, what we're surrounded with. So the toxic environment, and like you said, there may be great people, you may even enjoy several aspects of the job in this case, but yeah, I mean, if you start feeling it, and it really can affect you and bring you down. So you left Australia?
No, I didn't actually leave Australia at the time. I decided that I would try and start up the virtual assistants business, but then I fell into a huge depression. Like, it was literally like the day after I left, I just seemed to go really downhill. I felt like a failure. I felt like I couldn't do anything, and I got into a place of like negative self-talk, and the biggest bully in my life was me. And I was just telling myself, you can't even do this. And I had managed to, like, previously, before, even have a job lined up to go back to the UK and various things like this. But I don't know why, I just didn't feel confident I just really got down on myself and hard on myself. So the visa I was on was very hard to get a new job. So I started trying to learn how to advertise and market as a virtual assistant, but my heart wasn't really in it. And I ended up getting another job after a couple of months. I literally, I would, even to drag myself to the toilet to get out of bed, was like effort. It was like huge effort. I ended up listening to Mel Robbins and her 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I would do that to try and get up and make some food. It just was horrible the way it affected me. I literally had seen the doctors for antidepressants. I'd tried antidepressants. The chemicals in them made me worse, got really nasty side effects. And then I ended up getting another job. And I did that for a couple of, I think it was like an 8-week contract. And like, my boss said to me, oh, we want you to stay. Would you like to stay on? And I burst into tears because just had been feeling so bad in myself, and I literally couldn't talk to people at lunchtime. I would have people, and in meetings, I'd try and talk to people, and I'd have a panic attack, and I'd have to go to the toilet and like try and breathe. So I met an amazing gal there. I was so crying because it was really emotional. But yeah, she like took me under her wing, and it was just
Who
really.
helped you? Oh.
I was like in such a bad place, but after that, I decided it was time to come home, and my dad got really ill. He had to have a heart operation, and it was time for the wedding. So I actually flew back to the UK, sold all my stuff, flew back to the UK a week before I was supposed to fly out to Florida for the wedding, and decided that I was kind of done with Australia, and I wanted to do something, and I still didn't know about Pinterest at that time. Went to the wedding, came home. My dad, thankfully, was a lot better, and my new husband wanted to go back to Sydney. He really loved Sydney. I didn't want to go back at the time. But while I was there, I was offered 2 jobs which I hadn't even applied for. One was from the first company from the very beginning, and one was the current job that I'd just been working in. But I actually refused both of them. I knew I needed some time to just be around my family and get myself back into me. And then actually we then went back to Australia. I think it was just before Christmas. So that was like October. I'd left and then went back, and he had his job still, so they just kept his job open for him. And then I ended up working for the other company again that I just left, but it was kind of different with different people. And then doing that, it wasn't really something I wanted to stay in. It wasn't a permanent job again. It was only I think it was like a 8 or 12-week contract. And I found out about between this time and the time I was leaving, I knew it was time for home. We did like a trip to Brisbane to see friends before flying home. And I knew then that I really needed this online business, but the virtual assistant thing it just wasn't really sticking. And it was around this time I joined a digital nomad forum, and I found it was like a Facebook group, and I found that I think I found it on Pinterest actually. I found a course called Become a Pinterest VA, and I found this lady who was already doing it, and I had a chat with her. And actually, that was when I was in Florida, so it didn't open till around the March time. And I was like, maybe I should buy this. So I left, went home. I wasn't home that long, and I went to Florida again. I don't even know. I wasn't in like one place for more than 6 months at the time. And then I did the course, and it opened, and I got really stuck into it. And we got like a really great deal on a villa with a pool, and I was just like, oh, how amazing is this? This is what I want in my life. I want to be able to work by the pool in the sun. I love like what I kind of hate the UK winter now. I never used to mind it, and I just knew, and I was like, this is something that I can do that's gonna let the creative side of me like really work. And so I started doing it, but then I realized that the other Pinterest VAs, they were kind of missing the trick. And I've got a strategy background, so I was thinking, well, like you kind of taught in strategy to think outside the box. So I realized like I've got like really severe like research skills there. Like I can't do anything without researching it, like all the countries and stuff, and like look, everything I just research. So I looked into Pinterest SEO, search engine optimization, and I realized what it could do. And previously in Australia, I'd also set up a travel blog. I decided to toy with that, but I wasn't getting any traffic because I didn't really know where to share it. And so I decided my confidence was still severely shot. So I decided to test it on, first of all, the travel blog, and second of all, my sister's hairdressing salon. So I started with the travel blog, and eventually, like, I got into it. Looking back now, it still wasn't perfect. I could have done a much better job, but you live and learn. And my very first viral pin, I got 525 visitors to my website from one pin in just one day.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, I'd heard the amazing things about it, but then I knew, I was like, I can do this. I don't have to work with anyone I don't want to. I can be my own boss. I can work from anywhere. I don't need to have an office. And I was like, this is it. You know, when you just know something, I just really knew then that it was for me.
So
So
it was like clarity. It's almost like you saw the path in front of you, right?
yeah, I was like, this is what I have been looking for the last like 6 years or whatever. So it was super exciting. I would never have expected you could work on Pinterest. I knew I loved it as an inspirational platform and how cool it was, but I didn't realize that people could make money by working on it, or even that people really advertised on it. So that was eye-opening to me. That was kind of like an awakening. And when I found out, I just knew. I was like, wow, this is for me. And it seems so strange why I've been searching for something for so long, and then it all made sense. So
And you were using it the whole time. You were just using it for personal reasons, kind of like a lot of us. I mean, I think all social media, you know, we use it for personal reasons, but they all can also be used for business.
Mhm.
And so you really connected with it, with Pinterest.
Yeah.
So now I want to, if we can, if you don't mind, share a few pointers and then tell us about your coaching program that's coming up. Because I'm so excited because I signed up for it. I didn't know, well, no, I knew that there was these things about Pinterest, but I didn't know how to do them. And so I was so glad when you offered your free training, mini program, training program last week or the week before. And so, you know, how can people, so also let us know how we, anybody that's interested in learning more from you, let us know. But do tell us, so what are the biggest misconceptions? Because I think, you know, we may have people here that are entrepreneurs or are thinking of becoming entrepreneurs, or, you know, whether they have a product or a service, you know, how awesome Pinterest for business can be.
So one of the most exciting things about it, I think, is that it's an evergreen platform. So what that means is that when you pin, say like you write an Instagram post or a Facebook post, you get 1 to 2 days out of it, unless you've gone viral, which is very rare, unless you paid the likes of Facebook or Instagram to promote it. And the reason for that is a Facebook post has a life cycle of 3.2 hours, and an Instagram post has a life cycle of 13.2 hours. But compared to Pinterest, Pinterest's life cycle is 3 months plus. So it's super amazing.
That's amazing. Like, that was a big wow for me. So a Pinterest, I'm just going to repeat it. So Pinterest, a pin in Pinterest is, when it's evergreen, it just means it's like grass, like it's there, you know, it stays green, you know, and it stays alive. It's a marketing term. And so 3 months plus a Pinterest pin. A Facebook pin is, I mean, Facebook post is what, 3 hours?
So 3.2 hours for Facebook, 13.2 hours for Instagram. So within a day or two, they're basically died off. But yeah, with Pinterest, because it's evergreen, it can come back years into the future. And we shared in the training the other day that I was actually looking for an outfit to Halloween masquerade. Actually, it wasn't Halloween, sorry. I'm obsessed with Halloween. It was a masquerade ball, Disney villain ball theme. And I was searching for a corset, and up came one that was 10 years old, the pin on the blog post. So if you put out your content on Pinterest, you're still getting found well into the future. And the reason for this is because it's a search engine. It's actually a visual search engine. but it is the third largest search engine behind Google and YouTube. So when your ideal customer or target audience or client is searching on Pinterest, they're looking to learn how to do something, they're looking for a solution to their problems, or they're looking to purchase, they're looking for inspiration. So I was searching things like masquerade ball, gold dress, ball, get, I can't think of that, ball dress, ball gown. And then also I was searching for like a masquerade ball, like thing, like a dragon mask. So I was searching for Maleficent, which is who I wanted to channel in what I was wearing. So yeah, it popped up. But the thing is, people think that Pinterest is just for recipes, weddings, and crafting, and for middle-aged women. It's really not. People are on Pinterest searching for anything and everything. So new signups are now, it's about 40 to 50% of men that are the new signups. So everyone thinks it's for women, it's not. And the age range of a pinner it varies all across. So 1 in 2 millennials is using it, and the median age of a pinner is 40. So whilst things like crafting and parenting and weddings are huge on Pinterest, there's also a huge number of niches. The say the health and fitness niche is huge. Coaching is starting to get a bit more. People are looking on there for like how to find clients, business motivation, side hustles, how to work from home. So there's a lot of things in terms of mindset, confidence, also the law of attraction. Also like alternative medicines, essential oils are huge on Pinterest. All sorts of like anything and everything. People just don't realize what it can be used for. I've seen immigration lawyers and drainage cleaning service and like real estate agents. Some who are doing it well are doing it really well. They can take a video all around someone's house and upload it as a pin onto Pinterest. So it's super exciting because a pinner has a higher disposable income than users of other social media, but they're actually looking actively. So someone comes onto Facebook to connect with their friends, whereas someone goes onto Pinterest to look to buy. So it's super exciting in that respect.
Yeah, those facts for me, they were mind blowing. I don't know, whoever has any questions or comments about these Pinterest facts are like the meme I shared. It's very Pinteresting. But so yeah, for a small business user, this is, basically free marketing. I know that you're big on, doing organic pins, and it's not necessary to do to buy the package for them to do the ads. And then tell us about your company and what you do now, and how you deciding to what you learned about Pinterest, how to do it for businesses, and then where are you now? How long did it take you to establish your business?
So under the lifestyle virtual assistants, I basically offered everything. I only ever did Pinterest. And then I started working with a business coach, and she was like, you've got to kind of disconnect here, and maybe you should have a personal brand. So I ended up doing that. So we're in the third year of Pinterest marketing now for my business. So I'm based in the UK. I work entirely from home, which is amazing. I love it. And I work with clients across the globe. So most of my clients are actually in the US, but I've worked with clients in Tilla and Malta, all different places across the globe. It's super exciting. So the main thing that I do in my business is Pinterest management. I set up or optimize people's Pinterest accounts, and I use that to get them mass traffic. And it can actually rank them as first page on Google just because it can do so well. And you said about like organic versus paid. For up until this year, I was only offering organic Pinterest marketing. That's Pinterest for free because I was having such success with it. This year I added promoted pins, which is paid advertisements. Most of my clients still don't even do those. So there is no definite requirement to do it. You can do Pinterest completely for free, which is a great marketing tool. And then I do one-off services like audits and strategy calls, but everyone has been asking me for a Pinterest course. And it's just never felt aligned for me. I'm a bit of a recovering perfectionist, which means that I knew I would just sit there with the course and it'd be like, oh, it's not perfect yet. And I'd just delay it. And also 90% of people don't finish courses. I've done that myself. I bought a course. I've got one I bought last September and I still need to start it. I will start it eventually. But I know that a lot of people buy them and either don't finish them, they don't start them, or they get stuck. And with Pinterest, I find people either take to it really easily or some people struggle. And so when you're doing a course that's not live and you can't get support, you kind of can get stuck. So I wanted to offer this group coaching program. I had done one-to-one coaching, but I thought to make it more affordable for people, we could do it in a group setting, which would also give the accountability. I thought that we can all cheer each other on and help each other to learn. And what you say may have a question about, someone else might be thinking it, but just too scared to ask it. I mean, I hope that no one's scared to ask any questions, but people sometimes like think, oh, I don't want to because it might sound a bit silly. But
Right.
so I thought this would be an amazing setting. But I also knew that you can get all the traffic from Pinterest in the world, but if you can't convert the pinner to a sale, then it's a waste of time. And so sales is not my expertise. So I brought in 6 different experts. We have a branding expert. We have someone on email marketing so that you can, if someone doesn't buy straight away, you can convert them at a later date. We have got someone who's going to help with sales copy. We've got a funnels tech specialist because I'm not particularly tech savvy, so I can do Pinterest, but talk to me about funnels and technology. Like I need someone else to do. I can do a bit, but not as in depth as an expert can do. And we've got a mindset coach coming in because Pinterest, the only bad side about it is slow burn. Well, that's the only bad side I perceive. So it doesn't grow instantly unless you're paying for ads. If you're paying for promoted pins, it is more instant because you're paying for it. But organically, it does take a few months to really get started. So I brought in a mindset coach because I've dealt with imposter syndrome. And this coach that I brought in, she's actually was a former client of mine. And she was also my business coach. I've done one-to-one coaching with her and 2 of her group coaching programs, and she has basically got me from struggling where I can't get out of bed and I couldn't go live on videos to the point where I can do this. Now, I did break down in tears a bit earlier on.
But it's okay. But yeah, I mean, that's amazing. Like when you told us that you couldn't even do a live video, and there you were doing live video training us and then doing interviews now. It's amazing. It's great.
So yeah, and also we've got a soulful sales expert. So I'm not aligned with hard sales. I don't like it when it's done to me. So I don't want people to be doing that. I want to show them that there's an easier way. You don't have to do. And one of the things we said is I didn't like doing videos. You don't have to do live video on Pinterest. You can do if you want, but they've now introduced video pins, but you don't have to. You can do it completely organically. You don't have to sit there pinning every day. You can prep it all up like once a month if you like, and just have it while I'm sitting here talking to you now. My pins are still going out, so it's super exciting. So I'm going to teach all that in the group program. But I decided, well, people need to know, like, and trust you. So I decided to run some free training, which you've attended, and we did 3 days where we learned about the benefits of Pinterest. We talked about how it's like evergreen, how it can get you first place on Google. We did another day with things that you didn't need to be doing, so you don't need to worry about vanity metrics. So everyone gets so bogged down, I think is probably the best word, with
Yes.
big number on the profile, the Pinterest profile, the monthly viewers or monthly unique views, depends if you're using the app or the desktop. And people are using that to see if they're having Pinterest success, and it actually doesn't correlate. Your monthly viewers can be going down while your traffic to your website can be going up, because that's based on everything you're pinning. And there's so many courses and stuff teaching on how to get your viewers up, and it just doesn't make sense. So
because it's not the same as Facebook, like followers, like it's not the same. So we come with that mentality in Pinterest.
So yeah, I was seeing all these people, and I wanted to teach people how to really do it properly, strategically, and effectively to grow their businesses. So I knew that I just had to offer this program. So yeah, so we talked about that, and then we talked about the things you didn't need to waste doing on Pinterest. So you don't need to be commenting on people's pins or engaging with people. It's completely standalone in that respect. So it's super exciting. We talked about 10 Pinterest mistakes that people were making. And then we did some mini Pinterest audits as well. So if you would like to see that training, it is still there. We are going to remove it this week, but we're also doing a bonus session on Thursday for people who need to just speed blast through it, because people were missing the notifications. So we're going to do that on Thursday. So if anyone does want to come into that, they can do. And then
At your, which page is that? Your Facebook
the
page?
group, I actually don't have a cool group name because I never intended to have it as like a regular group. So, and then I started pinning to the URL, so I can't change it until this is after it's over. So, yeah, I will drop it in the comments after this.
Awesome. Yeah, and if anybody's interested in learning more from Lisa, we shared her website. I think I dropped it in the comments. I think it just doesn't go to the Facebook comments, but it's lisafarringtonco.com, and
I'll do it.
and I share that, and then also the Facebook group is called.
Yeah, it's got a really funny name.
Well, we'll share the link.
Share it right now. I've just copied and pasted it, so I'll share it right now and see if we can. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Otherwise, you might miss out. So I'll share it right now. But yeah, it's super exciting. Oh dear.
It's okay. And so what I love about Lisa is, as you guys can see, is I love her story, and I love that she's really, coming from the heart. I really connect with people that are, authentic, and just come from the heart. And so it's just, her story is amazing. I love her personality. I love everything that she overcame. I think it's a powerful story. You faced your freaking fears, woman. and you're still going through it, and then you started your business. You found the niche that you wanted to be in, or niche, or niche, you say it different ways. And we just, that's inspiring. And that's what I like to, that's what I call a soul talk. We're opening up our souls, we're sharing, and I love having these types of conversations. And so we're really not trying to sell you anything, but I really, like Lisa said, she just feels so strongly like, this is so easy, and I can help you, and and you can grow your business, start your business, or awaken your business with Pinterest. So check out Lisa's website. We shared the name of the group, or the link to the group. And I was going to ask you, Lisa. So now you're back in the UK, right? Well, in England. And so is this the job, like being the entrepreneur? I know the mindset, or the idea years ago was like, I want to be able to work from the pool. But being honest, it's like, there's not many of those days. It's like, we have to set up and work like, 80, 100 hours a week at the beginning, at least, right? And then we find a system to automate, right? So we start learning tools. So what are some of the cool ways that you can get that free time, the entrepreneurial, free time that we all want?
Yeah, like I've definitely got more plans to travel. So one of the things when I have been like traveling since, I haven't made it a permanent thing yet. It is coming hopefully, and that's on my vision board. But yeah, one of the things, like I took a 6-week trip away, and one of the programs I use is a program called Tailwind. So that is a schedule for Pinterest. It's completely Pinterest approved. They're Pinterest partners, which is really great because they have some cool features. The Pinterest algorithm changed earlier this year, and so you can't be pinning the same pin repetitively, like month after month. So they offer a load of cool features, like telling you if you're spamming, and it'll flash up a spam alert to stop you from getting your account shut down. And they offer various things. So they've got like their own program where you can put pins in and get them shared by other people. But it actually schedules out for you. So it's scheduling out for me right now all pins at the relevant times that I want them pinned at. So you can stack up your queue in like advance, like 6 months in advance if you want to. I tend to do it monthly, but if I'm going away, I'll work like loads before I go so that I don't have to work as much while I'm away. So that's one that I really highly recommend. Another one I like is Canva. I use Canva Pro, and if you're not a graphic designer, it's great because you can use their templates. You can just start something from scratch, and not only can you make Pinterest pins on it, you can also make images for Facebook or Instagram. I have made my freebie is a PDF I've made from that, like a checklist. You can also make Facebook cover photos. So it's really cool what you can do. Any sort of graphic design, it's really easy to pick up and learn. So they're probably my 2 favorites. I do use other things like Acuity to schedule my calendar. That's pretty cool because I don't have to do anything with it. It just runs for me. But yeah, so they're some of my favorite ones.
That's awesome. Yes, I've been learning Canva. So when I came up with this idea of really following through with this talk show, which I had the idea 2 years ago, so I didn't do anything. And then one weekend, having a conversation with my friend Sion, the next day, basically he was like, let's just do a live tomorrow. And I was like, okay. And I was the most productive. Like I was in flow, I was creative, I was, focused, and I accomplished more in those 10 hours, like after that conversation. So from like 4 p.m. until I think 1 a.m., I got on Canva. I had already used it a little bit. I don't have the Pro, but that's how I created this backdrop. And the announcements that I create, I use Canva. And yeah, it's very cool. So I love these tools, and it's fun. It's like whatever I do, I want it to be fun. Even if it's fulfilling, even if it's consciousness, even if it's spiritual, somewhere in there's got to be some fun. Right? Because I think that's what life is about.
Mm.
And so I think I'm losing your audio is starting to chop up a little bit. So we can start saying, if there's anything, Lisa, that we didn't cover. I did write one of the quotes that you said, and I appreciated it. Earlier, you said that the biggest bully in your life was you. You said the biggest bully in my life was me.
Definitely.
And I think I really connected with that. And I think many people can connect with that. And it's great that you found people around you to support you, to help you through. And I just wanted to share that with others, that, that it's okay to be where we are, right? And to also ask for help, let others know, especially in these times, right? That we're not able to go out as much and be as social, reach out to your friends and just say, hey, I like to talk, like really talk. Mm-hmm. and just invite everybody to really open up and, and reach out to somebody you trust. And, if anybody needs to talk to me, please just reach out and just say, hey, I want to talk. And I think that's important, that we stop being ourselves the bullies in our lives, right?
Yeah, definitely, because mental health is like so important. Like I was having suicidal thoughts. I mean, thankfully, I seem to be a strong enough person to push past that, but some people don't. And I even like people close to me when I told them afterwards, they were like, "Oh, don't be stupid." And if you need to talk about something like that, just be aware that there are people in your life, they would rather listen to your problems and read like a eulogy or whatever it's called on your gravestone. So mental health is so important, and it's so important to do things like even going out for a walk every day or just talking to someone on the phone, trying to get in nature, stroke a pet, see like, like play with your friend, your kids or whatever. That we do need to take some time to disconnect and just also stop the negative self-talk. It really doesn't help. It just destroys you basically. So yeah, so important to note and remember.
Yes, yes, and it's true. And I recently did lose a loved one to suicide, and it's just been a learning curve for me because you learn, and so I think it's important. And there's so many people now because of the pressure of losing jobs, money, or just being the pressure of being stuck at home, with all your loved ones. Even though you love them, it's like it's different when you're stuck in 24 hours in the same place. And so yeah, so I appreciate your story, and I love how you really face your fears. I think it's very empowering, and I invite everybody to check out Awakening in Amazon. We shared the title in the description of the live and some of the posts. And also, please reach out to Lisa if you want to learn more about Pinterest, and if you're interested. Oh, the program, your group coaching program, starts on the 24th. So I'm excited. I joined in, so I'm going to be a Pinterest mama.
You're gonna be a Princess Wiz soon enough. I'm so excited to have you there.
And so, yeah, so if you're interested in, revamping your business through Pinterest, I highly recommend, learning from Lisa. And I really appreciate your time. And if there's anything else, I don't know if I already asked you, if there's anything else that we didn't cover or we didn't talk about that you would like to share, um, please share with us.
I think it's really just get on Pinterest, have a look in the search field if what your ideal audience is looking for is there. And most likely it's there. And if it is, just definitely look into using it, because it can bring you email signups on autopilot daily. It can bring people buying your products. If you're a coach, you can have people learning who you are, gaining the know, like, and trust factor, and purchasing from you. And if people just they don't understand what it can do for them. Even big, massive brands are still getting it wrong. People just don't seem to be able to understand it. So the mindset you need to get into that it is a search engine, and just search and see. And I promise you, you'll probably be surprised.
Amazing. Yes, I agree. I didn't think of Pinterest as a search engine, but when you said that, it makes sense. It's just a visual search engine. So, we go to Google, we go to YouTube for searches. Well, guess what? So now, FYI, you can do searches on Pinterest. And, you know, um, so I don't want to drag this out too much longer, and I appreciate you being here. Thank you everybody who was here live, and thank you everybody who's watching on the replay. Oh, I think I will share this on LinkedIn since we have some business topics, and I'll share the YouTube video on there. So thank you for those. Anybody, anywhere, any platform watching the replay, and thank you, Lisa. I appreciate you.
Well, thank you for letting me be here. That was amazing. It was great to share my story. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. And thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week on Soul Talks with Esme. I don't have a guest for next week. I'm going to talk. If you have any ideas about what topics you want me to talk about, I have some ideas. spiritual topics, energy healing topics. So if you have any ideas or any topics that you want me to discuss, let me know in the comments. And please do subscribe to the YouTube channel, Happy Soul Evolution. I appreciate that. Eventually, the show will only be available or going live on YouTube. I think that'll be a better format. And anyway, so thank you everybody for being here. We're getting a lot of thank yous from the comments, and that your story was very powerful and inspiring. And yeah, so thank you everybody. See you next week. Bye. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.